I used to joke earlier before I met Rishi, before I read this report, before I engaged with this data, that three friends sitting in a room talking harmless stuff about their school or college is, I'm sure we are doing something wrong that can get us into jail. We used to joke. I used to joke about it. Okay. When I saw this is the reality. These compliances have been made in a manner that at some level they are so ridiculous, and we'll talk about this as we enter this report in greater detail. They are so ridiculous that they can't be true, but they are. Anybody who's trying to do business faces about 1,500 laws, 69,233 compliances, more than 4,500 filings a year. Now, this is not for one business at an aggregate.
A small MSME, which is employing, say, 100, 150 employees, does between 5 and 10 crores in revenue, operates in a single state with a single factory, today deals with anywhere between 500 to 1,000 compliances in a given year, depending on which sector they operate in. If they are in pharmaceuticals, chances are they are closer to 1,000. If they are automobiles, they are probably closer to 500. But one enterprise deals with so many of these compliances. They are across 7 broad categories. Labor being the largest, contributes 30% in terms of acts, 47% in terms of compliances, and a whopping 68% in terms of criminality. One of the largest, where you'll find a labor register has 10 different formats under 5 different acts. When I talk about a register, there are wage registers, leave and attendance registers, muster rolls, temperature registers, humidity registers, lime wash registers, and so on and so forth. They have duplications in their forms and formats.
I wanna, people must have received the shock of their life thinking कि भाई ये lime wash register क्या होता है. So ये lime wash register होता है मेरे दोस्तों. I'm just sharing a screen for the benefit of our viewers. So my dear friends, this is what a lime wash register is. Believe me, I did not know about this until I started my business myself. So as you guys can see, this godforsaken register format, has कब आपने लाइम वॉश किया, कैसे आपने लाइम वॉश किया, कहां से आपने लाइम वॉश किया. And now people must be wondering ये क्यों आया, right? That's a natural question. How the hell did the government think of this? If you're a kid in 2022, like a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old, you must be wondering how the hell did this come? So let me take you guys into a little journey. So in the early days, cholera was really rampant in those days when the British India. So the British came up with this wonderful act. Like lime wash register has to be there. At least I know it from the Bombay Municipal Corporation Act. I can't tell the macro perspective pan India. That is Rishi's department. But I can tell you the story of Bombay. Now we are in 2022. Cholera is no longer a problem. But BMC says lime wash register to banana padega bhai. Nahi banaoge to kaise chalega?
To me, I look at entrepreneurs as a factor of production, not somebody who uses the factors of production. Because without the entrepreneur, these factors of production are inert. They mean nothing. The point I want to take you to is the following. Today, because of what you mentioned, and if somebody were actually to read it, although I doubt anybody reads these laws, I think people just start doing business. Having said that, today there are 63 million enterprises in our country. Do you know how many of them are formal in the formal sector? 1 million. 1 million. 1 million out of 63 million enterprises in our country are in the formal sector.
Unbelievable.
You know how many of them have a paid up capital of 10 crore or more? Can you guess? Can you guess?
Maybe 1 lakh?
Very close. 22,500.
Oh my God.
That's all. That's
only
it.
22,000. That's it.
That's it.
There is no website in the country, even today, in 21st century, when we are in the 22nd year, when we are doing a few billion digital payments a month, we don't have a single website that can tell you what changed in the country from a regulatory compliance space on a single website or an app where I can subscribe and say, listen, I only care about Maharashtra or Karnataka or Tamil Nadu. If something changes on labor laws, let me know.
Everybody wants to get rich at an individual level, but if somebody gets rich, they want to pull him down by saying, इसने तो चोरी करी है, ये तो चोर है, बेटा बिजनेस मत करना, नौकरी करना. नौकरी कहाँ करोगे? बिजनेस के पास ना. So this
गवर्नमेंट में करेगा, गवर्नमेंट में.
This entire thing, and then you see the differences across states. Let me give you an example. There are 5 states that have more than 1,000 imprisonment clauses in their regulatory baggage. Gujarat, Punjab, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Okay? Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu are $200 billion plus economies. What is Punjab doing with as the second highest number of imprisonment clauses for doing business? It's an agrarian economy. They don't want to move away from that agrarian economy. And they have the second highest number of imprisonment clauses. What for? Who cares? What are they benefiting in this? Now there's a new government under Kejriwal. We hope things will change, but we are not very optimistic. But just wonder, Punjab at one time was one of the highest state GDP states. Today it's at number 16. And yet it has the second highest number of clauses, I think 1,400 or something. I don't remember the exact number. On the other hand, Uttar Pradesh, which is another $200 billion economy, doesn't figure in the top 5. It has fewer imprisonment clauses. Now you put these two outliers against each other, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, and see what's happening. And I think I don't know, is it a cultural, is it a geographical, is it climate, is it weather? Zyada garmi lagti hai to aap zyada laws banate ho? I don't know, but there is some strange logic here. You also mentioned in the statistics that 70% are between 1 and 3 years imprisonment. Do you know something? Having read those laws, compliances, they are just copy pasting one law to the next. They are not applying their minds when you are enacting a new law or writing a new compliance or drafting a new rule. It is not thought afresh. It is just copy pasted. So if the punishment for X kind of crime is 1 to 3 years, dalo. 1 to 3 years is the default. Sochna hi nahi hai. This is the way in our assessment. There is no thought, because you see, if there was thought, you would have had some with an equivalent 2 years, some with 24 months, some with 6 months. It would have been segregated across. No. Rishi was talking about the canteen committee, reconstituting the canteen committee every 2 years. Do you know what is the punishment for that in case you don't do it?
No.
The same as sedition.
Eh?